From tower moments to facing our shadow and moving into the new, let's see what's coming up with this Twin Flame Weekly. Welcome back to our weekly update. Yes, we do cover this regularly. We are going to get straight into the read. This is a pretty juicy read. Grab a drink, sit back and relax, and wait to the end, because any advice I feel I need to give you based on the energy that comes through psychically, intuitively, and through the tarot, I will give to you. And this can turn, especially as we do move for clarifiers. Now, we're going to get into the intro energy first. We do have the ruin cast. Last week we didn't have one. This week we do. This ruin cast relates to Virgo. Now, it's, the constellation Virgo, the zodiac Virgo, swan, very twin flame energy, gold, earth, and air. Now, mundane, protection, sanctuary, prayer, friendship, trust. Esoteric meaning, mystical communication with the divine, guardian spirit, absorption of protection. And this ruin cast, when I did get these ruins, very similar to the Egyptians, they would use this to protect themselves. Now, it would be used with a stick from the tree, or you could actually, and at one point in my ascension process, I literally drew this on me, and I would wear this to protect me spiritually from the psychic attacks, etc. And it does actually help. Now, when this ruin cast is drawn, it suggests that the quadrant may be in need of protection, which is interesting when we do get into the context of the read, and we will refer back to this ruin cast. But confirms that such protection is assured. And it's really to do with your spiritual connection. It's really to do with the fact that, if you ask your guides to protect you, if you have that infinite, connection to source, you are protected. A lot of times when our aura is down, we can be more susceptible to psychic attacks. We have just moved through Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde in Virgo. Towards the end of the year, we've got another Mercury retrograde. Pluto's about to go return. And so all these frequencies of upheaval that we've moved through, we're now in eclipse season. Yes, I do look at the astrology for twin flames to see how that directly is impacting us, especially related to our ascension process. Now, this could be pending energy. Really intuitively, I feel that is change. Sometimes, and I am seeing from the creating energy for divine feminine, there is change. Now, some may be walking into this change with open arms. Others may know intuitively what this area is or what needs to be addressed, and they're avoiding it at all costs. And regardless, these things do happen for us. They also happen to change the circumstance. If you can hear my puppy barking, she's just played in the water. It's extremely hot air, so apologies. Now, it confirms that the connection through prayer, through meditation. I wouldn't necessarily do meditation during the eclipse. I would leave it. I would wait for your aura to be clear, but really hydrating yourself prior, moving into it, getting to a space that we are grounded, moving through the vibration of the eclipse, and then about a day later, you can go into your guided meditation, depending on what chakra it's hitting for your zodiac sign. Now, I do feel there can be apprehension to do with the twin flame path. I do feel there can be this anxiousness, and there's been a lot of gut energy going on at the moment, especially when I do tune into my clients. There's been a lot of anxious energy. Some of you also are going to feel a bit more high vibe, but as we do get closer to this, there could be this cockiness that we do embody, and then, all of a sudden it's like this deep change, and change is difficult. Change is always happening. The seasons change regularly. We move into it. Sometimes change, though, when we aren't feeling that we are equipped to or capable of, we will avoid it at all costs. So for some, this can be a very anxious time. especially for the zodiacs where it is directly involved. This can be Taurus and Scorpio. This can be Cancer and Leo, and due to the fact that one is sun, one is moon, this can be more anxious. Also Libra and Aries. But again, we do have these placements in our chart. Now, we're going to look at the angel number for the month. We are looking at this each month to keep in tune with the dynamic. It is a number 10. We get two things going on with this: endings and new beginnings, pretty much. When we do see the ones, it is saying that there is a new chapter. It is saying that for some of us, we can feel almost like the tools aren't provided to us. So it's a little bit like, right, I'm going camping. Spiritually on my twin flame path, what do I look at? And this angel number is collective energy, although for you in your twin flame path, we will discuss how it will also link. Now, the ones are almost that you feel slightly pixelated. You feel out of your depth. Maybe you're going on that journey alone. There are intervals in the path where you do. And I can say, please try to trust the process. You can't lose your twin. However, during the time listening to readings, there can be the disillusionment, especially moving into November. But we'll deal with that then, okay? The only reason I say is because there's movement, there's lots of movement. But definitely because the transits had been to do with the Venusian energy and Mercury. Some of you could have come into contact. Some of you could have come into recommunication, potentially even reunion, which I do have a couple on my YouTube channel that have most recently. Don't stress. There's no comparison, but there definitely is a new chapter, and any change is actually taking you to that higher point. And it's also teaching you to integrate and to be yourself. Now, in the 10s, we'll look at it. Okay, angel number 10, meaning you are moving through a large cycle of ascension and growth. You may feel unsure and about to start fresh. Healing and doors opening to change is ahead. Be open to the chapter, even if you can't see it and how it is so. Overnight changes are very possible. So what could that look like? A tower moment. Sometimes that tower you could bring down. Key areas: cycles ending. So it's like the Wheel of Fortune, the wheel, fresh destiny, moving into your destiny. Something's destined to happen. Your thoughts and actions, you must keep clear. So the old notion of when you get nervous, focus on service. It's like keep busy, try to get out of your head. Mercury shifting signs can aid, but we are having Venus move into Virgo, so we can be a bit more critical on our health and diet. Your thoughts and actions, keep them clear. This can be keeping hydrated. I always would avoid any pacifiers during an eclipse because, again, psychic attacks are possible. And those of you that have been on the journey for a long time know that in the twin flame path, there's a lot of psychic attacks. Especially closer to reconciliation, changes in status. This can be karmics to the left. This can be karmics resurfacing. Regardless, a transformation is ahead. And we are moving into, are we ready? The reason why I said this is going to be the big shift of the year, because we did move through Venus retrograde. And, many times we can say, hey, I can't see anything changing in my path. You potentially might be stalking, snooping, looking at your twin, and you can see for some of you that they're in a karmic relationship and you're like, nothing's shifted. Some of you, it could be that crap went down, you went into separation, and again, you have not heard. And I will try and give you tips in this instance of where those situations are. It's very normal to get to a stage where you feel quite disillusioned, detached. Again, we do support you through the members. And if you need that coaching, ways to view situations, it's a very handy tool to actually use. Now, what I can see coming through here, let's have a deeper look. So spiritually, the Ruin cast is saying that there is a worry wart energy. We do have the Devil card here. We're going to move to a close-up. Now, in the joint connection, there is a resisting of temptation. And I feel this also can be a recommendation. It can be, okay, let's not get up in our heads. Let's not think too much. Let's not go back into bad patterns. But I also feel, unfortunately, because it is really being a Capricorn energy, Pluto moving direct can make us feel apprehensive about the changes that we do need to make. It can make us feel as though, are these changes going to be good? How is this directly going to impact me? What is this going to look like? So there can be an avoidance of change. There can be an avoidance of it. There can be a paranoia of such. The handy thing is Mars by the 12th is going to move into the house of Scorpio, and this is going to feel more settled in its own vibration. You always get the yin to the yang with any planet. You get the book, you get the malefic, and you get the positive. This is more a positive being sitting here, although old situations can crop up. Lots of dirty secrets, lots of gossip, potentially even scandals of an intimate nature, and I'm speaking in code. This can be in the collective. However, Pluto goes direct as of the 11th. Now, the eclipse is happening on the 14th. So, don't be surprised this week. And really, it could really go over to the following. I would say even after the eclipse is a possibility. We do have the devil card here, and it is in reverse. And there's almost like superstition, paranoia, fear-based frequency. What are we letting go of? There also can be a healthier version of this, where you're trying to break old patterns. You're like, look, I'm breaking this cycle. I'm looking at things differently. I've had perspective and clarity, and I'm getting out of my own way. Now, I'll be honest, some of you have been saying you've been way too patient, and that's true. But again, be patient with yourself. Be patient with your choices. Try to not be cross. I do feel that there is this patience that we need to move into with our own feelings, with our own needs. And I would just pre-warn you, changes are happening very quickly. So the status quo of where you see your life, this does appear to be, even through the read, that things are going to shift very quickly. So the dynamic of the status quo is not going to remain the same. I do feel this longing. Both parties are really missing each other. Both parties have been patient. It could have been to do with the karmic cycle, and karmics don't have to be partners. But both of you maybe need a minute at this point in time, and there is this apprehension towards each other. And that can be because of your previous experiences, both with each other, but also with the fact that, karmics have involvement. So there is this apprehension here. I also feel it's possible, it's almost like saying, try to stay centered during this transition. There are changes. You may need to be flexible during this time. For those of you that are in communication, I do get this vibe that you could misinterpret situations, and I feel it's still going to turn out okay. Try to not create your own tower moment unintentionally. So this can be through triggers, because I do feel there can be some surprises coming here, but you may need to be a little more flexible with the circumstances. But also surprises can happen within your own personal lives, either side of the fence, as well as within the joint connection. Oh gosh, okay. Be careful who you're attracting in at this point. I also do feel that there is a lot of chemistry between you and this individual. Sometimes some of you are actually worrying about it, because the resisting of temptation being here is almost like, we're very strong while we're separate, but we need to try and maintain that equilibrium while we're around this person. Your opinion of the circumstance at this point in time, especially for those of you that aren't in communication, you may be feeling this integration that you're going through, and that's it, I'm moving forward, etc. But we really can't answer that until we actually would have the person sitting directly in front of us. It doesn't mean tapping out of our life, but it does mean having that awareness and being okay with that, being okay that we can change our mind. Because we do have this within the second row, this person, you want someone who's ambitious. You want someone who's a go-getter. You also may find that your counterpart is too busy working hard. Some of you also could have resentment if you've seen them hand that to a karmic. But there is the silence that's coming through with divine masculine. It can be to do with home and family. Some of them are going through a change within their physical environment. There is a lot of heightened emotions moving into the eclipse. I do feel that there is a notion that somebody is going to be left behind, but it's also how we both are feeling in the circumstance of leaving our past behind. And sometimes these things can be wounds, and we've held on to them ever so tight, even if they haven't been the best of things. There is going to be a balance between both parties. I just keep hearing, try to not be vengeful. And I feel many feminines have moved beyond this, but I do feel there's going to be justice. Some of you also could have a connection go to the next level. And I do feel this also can be with your twin. Another thing I'm saying is be careful of conflict at a base level. Don't misinterpret a conflict that is coming through in a conversation piece, especially for those of you that are in communication. I'm getting that there is something going on divine masculine side. Separately, I also feel that those that aren't are going to pick up on that psychically, but I do feel it is closer to the eclipse, depending on how intuitive you are. Okay, I'm getting this feeling that there's something that isn't being spoken about, and there could be a shady tribe member. This could be like a family member. Yeah, I feel that you're becoming intuitively aware of the reasons why maybe masculine hasn't shared certain things. There could also be a changing dynamic in home and family. There also could be a white lie that comes to the surface, but I don't think this is something bad between the connection. I feel this is something external. This could be some gossip. Yeah, this is somebody who's a bit jealous. I'd also say, and I said this before, psychically I was picking up that the karmics are going to come out of the woodworks for a bit of revenge. I do feel a karmic stalking a divine masculine, but we'll get into that when we look at divine masculines. Again, they are making reference to the fact in the joint connection that there's a lot of passion here. You both are aware that you have enemies either side of the fence. And I do think both of you maybe are bridging the gap here. And you're starting to be the healthy version of selfish, which is, okay, we can't make everyone happy. And I do feel psychologically masculine is thinking of this also. They're also thinking about the fact that they've put their own personal needs on hold. And the direct connection, and they're quite fed up by it. This could have been due to a financial situation, but I feel they're moving beyond it. I do feel there's a bit of a shake-up. Now, feminine, your energy really concerns me. Now, for two reasons. A, it can be that you physically are choosing to bring a tower down. Or B, this could be it is occurring. Okay? Very anxious. Now, I do feel spiritually, some of you moving towards the eclipse can feel this. Sometimes it can be a psychic energy. So although it's showing up on your side of the brain, this could be that you are tuning in and the messages can swap. So again, this is some interesting kind of dynamic we are working with here from a twin flame point of view. Yes, energy can swap. So if this is something that plays out in your life and you're like, hang on a minute, these were the dreams, these were the downloads, these were the energies I was intuitively picking up. It is your twin, okay? Separately, I do feel some of you could have delayed ending a cycle with the situation. This does not have to be with a romantic partner. This could be in a number of areas, and you intuitively will know where this is. I also feel energy from the past is going to resurface. This also can be your twin flame path in the connection. Some of you are saying to yourself intuitively, right, I need to let this go. This is moving to the past. Usually from a spiritual point of view, it's when we're saying we need to leave it in the past, it is to do with healing, and it's actually a compliment on your energy. But you can just associate it directly with the physical person, but it is that you've healed. Now, moving into detachment means you're not going to have that angst and anger. You're not going to have that bitterness. But if there is, there could be that self-sabotaging energy. And again, Everything does happen for a reason. Okay, somebody is spreading rumors. Now, this can be about your twin. This could be maybe dropping comments. Could even be a family member. Any number of energies. Somebody here is trying to sabotage your path moving forward. Somebody is very jealous of you. Somebody's angry at themselves because they didn't do what you can do. And they're projecting towards you. I do feel this is a trigger point on both sides of the fence, so that both individuals either side of the fence are really putting their foot down. This could be the closest and nearest and dearest to us. The contracts are changing. This is happiness that is coming for you. Now, I do feel you're going to be deeply protective, especially if you can see divine masculine actually offering something. Your harvest is coming. Some of you also can be looking at a circumstance with a change in a location that you directly are living. And this also can be, oh my gosh, I'm cursed. Remember, everything does happen for a reason. Sometimes the physical move is happening so that you can align and be ready for divine masculine. I do feel that you could be looking at things that you no longer resonate with any longer. And that you want to get rid of. But I also feel a lot of you aren't wanting to sell yourself short, and you're really not. You know, doing this spiritual work on yourself means you're going to be more equipped to have a safe, healthy, loving romantic relationship with whomever you choose to be with. However, for many, this is going to be with counterpart. And it does end up spiritually at the end of it being a physical choice. And I can't say it's like better the devil you know than the devil you don't. It's just because you've done so much work on yourselves and you end up knowing this person ever so well. It does seem like the ultimate rational choice. But again, each person's path is different. Now, divine masculine. Now, this is why I knew for some it can be that you're, you know, it could be like you're feeling something's going to go down. If there's something you need to address, divine feminines, jump in and deal with it. Especially for those of you in communication. Bite the bullet, have the chat, and cut to the chase. Now, I do feel there's a small offer here. I do feel there's a genuine offer. And this person can want to take things slow. But I do think things are going to speed up. I also do sense some jealousy coming through. And this person's attitude really has changed towards you, divine feminine, regardless of where you stand, where you see them. I also feel they find it very attractive that you are creating healthy boundaries, that you're, you know, goal orientated. They also feel you have matured a great deal spiritually, your demeanor, everything about you, they feel it's really matured. They have actually taken a leaf out of your book and they are thinking about the future. And if you have had a very in-depth conversation with those of you in communication, I feel they're taking it on board and I feel they're thinking over this. They know that a lot of this is mental anguish in a sense of cobwebs, you know, going in circles, but they keep coming to the same resolve with this. Do they want to be the nice person, you know, to every Tom, Dick, and Harry? I do feel so, but I also feel like they need to make a change. They're looking at different ways, but again, I do feel both divine feminine and masculine may be a culprit of this. Moving towards the eclipse, it's almost like knowing what needs to, you know, what can go on the plane with us, what can fit. We need to go light. Okay, there's also, oh, interesting. There's an individual that knows masculine quite well and they're very attracted to you, divine feminine. They have had an issue with this person around you. This is resurfacing again. I also feel some communication is coming in with the karmic or a big conversation with the karmic. And I do feel this can be a situation that changes overnight. I do feel masculine is tapping into divine feminine. And I feel as though they subconsciously know they can't come with any half offer. And if there is a door open to a different situation, they feel it needs to be addressed. I'm going to ask what this tower is for divine feminine. Some of you could get some information that does shock you and knock you for six. It's definitely unexpected. For some of you, yes, this could be to do with gossip coming through the grapevine. That counterpart is divorcing. For those of you who that message relates. For others of you, again, I would say very, very deeply protect your aura. Some of you have a major decision to make, but you're avoiding it. You've been avoiding it for a while, and it needs to be made. You're now seeing, for some, that this can, in the long run, directly impact your love life. For some, you do have a secondary offer. This also could be someone who you were in communication with previously. I also feel that divine masculine does have somebody that they know, and they're very, very keen on you. This is causing a trigger. I also feel those that are in a karmic relationship are having a very tough time. This could be an all-out round. This could be a physical tower moment. And I do see this person tapping out. Overall, romantically, I feel you're going to have to go into this very easy. I do feel you're going to have some shocks and surprises. Those of you in communication, there is a potential of an argument. There is some crap going down in a tribal situation. I do feel you have some spiritual tests coming through of shady individuals. If you do want a super chat, you can come through and join us. We do have them happening on Sundays in the morning each week. One day a month, we do have them within the Members Hub. We also do have on Monday the eclipse video. If you're watching this after the fact, we do have the eclipse in Libra and how it's going to affect each zodiac sign with a very unique spin. Take care, beautifuls. I'll see you soon. If you do want a private booking, you can go to the link directly below. Otherwise, keep safe.